Homage to the Venerable Gurus. Homage to the Venerable Mang Liaoming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. Homage to Master Dubdan Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice tonight, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Simu, Tanchen Katso, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are the Taipei rep to Sweden and Norway, Ambassador Tong Zhou Liao and his wife, Dharma Sister Judy. And accountant to True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa. And from Seattle China Times, the sales manager, Miss Jiang. Good evening, everyone. How do you do? This evening we practice Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva as the main deity. But I didn't see many spirits getting in line wanting some red envelopes from me. And Master Pigeon gave me a red envelope and that's mine. When they wanted the red envelopes, I didn't have any. Now that I have a red envelope, they didn't want any. A lot of things is strange like this. A lot of things difficult to say. When you want it, you cannot have it. When you don't want it, it comes from heaven. It falls from the sky. Like the one in Taiwan who got the Taiwan lottery, the jackpot. That disciple did not ask for anything, and inadvertently he or she got it. Naturally, it was bestowed upon him or her. And sometimes we bought it very seriously for this period. Like Grandma said, there were 4 huge bags of bills during the yellow Jambala. And she may have thought that the other person only got 1 bag, and there were still 3 bags left. So the Taiwan lottery was one huge bag. There should be 3 bags left. So she kept buying it day after day. And spent hundreds or thousands of dollars. And the result is nothing. She returned empty-handed. So sometimes when you really want something, you don't get anything. And when you don't want it, it comes naturally. That's destiny. A lot of things against your wish. Like when Grandmaster really wished someone to appear and no news. And when I don't think of this person anymore, all of a sudden he or she appears. So this kind of things happens. It's very strange. So it's like just going back and forth. It's like the heavens is arranging all the destiny. And when you come to a certain crossroads or certain path, it's destined to go certain ways. However, you still should put in your efforts. So, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is one of the 8 great bodhisattvas with great vows, and he's very diligent. So this diligence of the 6 paramitas, including giving, precepts, patience and endurance, diligence, wisdom, and meditation. So of the 6 paramitas of bodhisattvahood, one of them is diligence. But diligence applies to charity, keeping precepts, endurance, meditation, and also wisdom. So each of these other parameters also need diligence. And Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is a very diligent Bodhisattva. So today, I'm talking about diligence. I just use myself as an example. Every day, doesn't matter how many minutes I have left, I will paint a painting. Sometimes I only have 10 minutes left. I can still paint a painting. Or I only have half an hour. I can paint a painting. Or 1 hour, I can also paint a painting. So painting is one of my diligence, something that I have to do every day. It's 10 minutes before dinner, 6 o'clock. Then I find a way to finish one painting. It's the same with the spiritual cultivation or practice every single day. I have to merge with the Buddhas or Bodhisattvas. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have to enter into my body, and I enter into the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So I enter, and enter me is very special in Tantrayana. We have to be in union with the Yidam, that the Yidam and I are indistinguishable. That I have to enter into Yidam and the Yidam enters into me. I have to do it every single day. Even if it's already 2 a.m., I still have to do it. But I can choose for how long, because it's really too late. But at least I would do that merging. I enter and enter me for 10 minutes. I have to do my Dharma practice to do the I enter and enter me every single day. That I enter into the Bodhisattva and the Bodhisattva enters into me. That's the homework that I have to do in my spiritual cultivation, and I have to do it every day. Like chanting mantras, chanting the sutras. So chanting sutra, mantras, doing Dharma practice, I enter and enter me, entering samadhi, meditation. These are my homework every single day. I cannot forget them. Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is a very diligent Bodhisattva. And also about writing, just the same. Every single day I have to write my book. And I always write 2 pages. So 2 pages. And a book, 100 sheets of papers would make 1 book. So that would be in 100 days. So 1 book in 100 days. Oh, 50 days. 100 pages in 50 days. And that's equal 1 book. So I can finish 1 book in each 50 days. So now I'm writing book number 277. From my college years, I started to write books until now. When I was in college, I have written 4 books. And afterwards, I continued to write. I've been continuing until now. And now I have written 277 books. Every day, 2 pieces, 2 sheets of paper. So this kind of steadfastness, perseverance is the same as Siddhigarbha Bodhisattvas. That's my responsibility. My responsibility in the Saha world to deliver sentient beings by writing books every single day. Now,
in Seattle, Lezang Temple, Top Dharma, and Sunday, every Sunday, afternoon 3 o'clock, in Rumpo Lezang Temple, fire offering. 这都是一定的。
That is fixed for sure. I never take a break. Like at the Taiwan temple, I also never take a
我也
break.
没请假，
Like
就
even
愿
when
也
I
没
had
请假，自愿
cellulitis,
照样
I
的
didn't
从这个医院里
take a
面，
break.
从这个医院里面的病房里面呢，抬出一只大腿，
Even when
抬起来一只大
I
腿，
was
重着车子
hospitalized,
到
I
台湾天上市，
carried the swollen
照
and
样说
heavy
法，
leg with the IV and went to the
也没
Taiwan
有
temple
一
and
个礼拜
continued
天，
giving the Dharma
也没有一
teaching.
个礼拜六请假的。
I never
然后
asked
给
for
同
any
工
leave
同
of
领，人家
absence
讲说你这个蜂
or
窝性
take a
组织
break
炎，
on
那个脚都
Saturdays
肿
and
得那么大，
Sundays.
你还给所有的
And
人摸
then I
摸
give
顶。
people
我告诉
blessings
你，
on the
在
heads.
西
And
雅图
the
连上会摸
disciples
顶，
said,
老
"What?
师
Oh, you
，small
already
potato chip。
you have swollen leg. Then why do you still give blessings to
我说
disciples?" But
花
here
1
at the
月
Seattle
10
temple, it's like small
给他
potato
解到，
chips. I finished
1
it in
月
5
10就给他
minutes.
解到，你知道吗？在台湾雷藏寺的摸顶
But
2
the
hours，
blessings at the heads in Taiwan temple takes 2 hours
1 hour and a half
or 1 hour and a half
到2 hour。
to 2 hours.
那一次摸顶呢，我这个蜂窝症脚肿起来，蜂窝症组织炎的时候啊，他们搬个椅子给我坐，一只脚抬着，这样子一个摸顶。
So when I had the cellulitis, they placed a chair for one of my legs so that I can place it on it, and I continued to give blessings on the heads one by one. I still
所以想起
did
来
it.
这个就是一种责任，在这个
So
娑
thinking
婆
about
世
it,
界上的一个
this
责
is
任。
a kind of responsibility, my responsibility
那
in
现
the
在有
Saha
很多
world.
人都自称他很伟大，
Nowadays, many
很
people
多
call
人
themselves
不
to
切，
be really
他是
great,
这个
and many Rinpoches
阿达尔玛佛的转世，
that claim to
阿达尔
be
玛佛的
a
转世，那是
reincarnation of
本
Adharma
尊佛的
Buddha.
转世，
That's the
大
primordial
仁波切
Buddha.
那不得了的啦。
That's
但
great
是只是没有
Rinpoche.
人承认他是阿达尔玛佛的转世
However,
的佛
nobody
而已啊，
recognizes him as the reincarnation of
这
Adharma
算是最
Buddha.
大的了。
So Adharma Buddha is the
算是最
greatest.
大的佛佛，应该叫做
We
多戒腔，多戒腔。
they
就
should
是
be
耶
called
稣
Dorje
阿达
Chang.
尔玛佛，
That's the Adharma Buddha, the
他们
primordial
转世，
Buddha.
那是最大的。
And
那么也
his
有人自称
reincarnation
是
would be the
咕噜仁波
greatest.
切的转世，
And some people call
巴
himself
桑双玛雅，
a
就是莲花生大
reincarnation
师
of Guru
咕噜仁波
Padma
切。
Sambhava or Guru
咕
Rinpoche.
噜仁波切的转世就是莲花生
So
大师
Guru
的转世啊，
Rinpoche's
那
reincarnation
真的也是很伟大，
is
因
the
为
same as
整
Guru
个西
Satma
藏流通
Sambhava's
就是莲花生
reincarnation.
大师。
That would
就
be
就
really
教里
great
面，莲花生大师是第一
because
个入藏弘法的最
for
伟大的
Tibet,
咕噜，
Guru Rinpoche was the
就是
first
莲花
one
生
that
大师的
entered
转
into
世，
Tibet to propagate Buddha
但是都
Dharma.
很伟大。
So his reincarnation
我
is
是
also
不管说
great.
伟大不伟大，
But I don't care how great or whether
我
someone is great or
写的
not.
是地藏王菩萨的精神，
All I
精
learn
进。
is to have the spirit of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. He's very diligent. He
不是
made
真的
extremely
多大
great
的来历，
vow
不是很大的来历。莲花童子
without
不过是阿弥
truly
陀佛
great origin.
的化身，
Padma Kumara is just an
很多
emanation
人
of
都是有莲
Amitabha
花童子
Buddha.
的身份。
And many people have
以
the
前因为
status
大
of
家也没
Padma
有听过莲
Kumara.
花童子啊，
And in the
那也没
past,
有多大，就是
people
西
never
方极乐
heard
世
of
界的
Padma
那些
Kumara.
游戏的小童子，你
He's
看那
not
个
so great. He's just a playful youth at the
敦
Western
煌
paradise
石
of
窟里
Amitabha
面的
Buddha.
那些游戏的小童子，
So they're just playful youth in the Donghuang caves. Not so
是
great.
没什么呢。师尊
But
凭
no
的
big
就是精
deal.
进。
Grandmaster, it
我们来比
just
赛
strives
心可
for
以嘛？
diligence.
你多借枪，
we can compete. So as a Dorje Chang, how many books have you written? Do you practice diligently every single day? See, I have produced at least 5,000 paintings. So it's a kind of responsibility. So I have this mind of duty, responsibility, and diligence, perseverance. So your responsibility is delivering sentient beings. Your practice, your writing, your painting, this is your homework every day, and you have to complete them. And if you have this sense of responsibility, that means you have diligence. By having this, you would have attainment. Otherwise, even if you say how great you are, the incarnation of Adharma Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, or Vairocana Buddha, but you're lazy, then you're not qualified to be even a bodhisattva. So today, in performing our spiritual cultivation, you have to have the diligence and responsibility. You cannot say that, oh, I'm so tired today, I'll just do it tomorrow. I'm really so tired today. You cannot think like that. Because if you're like that, you would attain nothing. I often say, if you do your things every single day, although they're small, it would comprise to big things. The same in your study. If you complete your homework today, in the future you would succeed. The success will be yours. The same in spiritual cultivation. Like the Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva with the greatest vow. What I saw earlier is Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva with his bright, radiant pearl as big as this temple, and the shining light is radiating upon you to make your body and mind truly joyous and happy. The Bodhisattva is very compassionate. Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is compassionate. He used his bright pearl and radiating toward all true Buddha school disciples, so that we are showered amidst his bright radiance. I also felt this way. Oh, this is a reincarnation of great Bodhisattva, or the great Buddha, or Guru Padmasambhava, or Atisha. Like for the latter, Dharma propagation in Tibet is Atisha, and for the former, Dharma propagation was Guru Padmasambhava, or the reincarnation of Guru Tsongkhapa. That's no big deal. Therefore, Sakyamuni Buddha said, please do not compare who is bigger. Or the Guru that I took refuge in, they're all the greatest. Please don't think this way. So Sakyamuni Buddha said, what is the greatest is the one who is in union with the Tao, or the way. So the Buddha said this way, please don't
你只要
compare
跟道
who's
合
bigger,
一
who's
了，
smaller.
这个就最大。
Because as long as you're in
我
union
们
with
这
the
个密
Tao
教
or
的
the
弟子
way,
记
then
得，
you would be the
你只要
greatest.
跟佛合一了，
As the tantric disciples,
跟
please
你的本
remember,
尊合一了，
if you're in union with the Buddha,
切切实
with
实
your
你跟你的
yidam,
本尊合一了，那
if
就
you
是
are
最大。
truly in union with your yidam, then you would be the greatest.
好，我们今天再讲一点道果。
Today we will continue to talk about Lamdre.
刚刚谈到这个责任，
Just now we talk about responsibility.
回顾2019年，你前年当中坚持做到的一件事是什么？
In 2019, the one that you
回顾
persisted
2019年，我们现在是
that you
2020
persisted to do all year.
你回顾你2019年，
So now it's
你
January
前
4th,
年坚持
2020.
做到的
But
一件
thinking
事
back
是什
in the
么？
year 2019, what
问
thing
大
do
家，
you always do? You persisted to
它
do
的答案是这样子：
throughout the year
每
the
天帮
answer
手机充电。
is to charge your cell phone.
真的，我讲过了，师尊没有智慧型的手机，没有智慧型的手机。
Grandmaster does not have a smartphone
因为我只要有手机，会占据我很多的时间，很多
because
的时间
by
都会消
having
耗
those
在
cell
手机上。
phones, I would spend a lot of time on it.
我这一生的目的就是修行，
Because
还
the
有
purpose of this life is to cultivate spiritually and to spread the Buddha Dharma.
我们看看啊，看看道果。
Now let's check on
因
Lamdre.
此，据殊胜之所依者，以其脉为
Therefore,
会
if
具
one
法
has a
身
supreme
之
body
引
to rely on,
脉
then
之
one's
会
channels are the
具
start of
报
affinity
身之言
of
行
the accumulated transformation or
戒
emanation
甘露
body,
为会具
and
化
one's seeds
身
are the
之
start
言
of
行
affinity of the
气为
accumulated
会
reward
具
or light
体
body,
胜
and one's ambrosia is the
性
start
身
of
之言
affinity
行
of the accumulated dharma body, and one's chi is
因
the
为你在
start of
修行
affinity of
当
the
中，
accumulated intrinsic body.
依照你自己的本身的身体所修炼的，
Because
这是
in
内
spiritual
化方面。
cultivation is you
依
practice
照你自己身体
according
的
to
坛城
your
去
body,
修炼。
to the altars of your
修行
body
绝对
to
不是说
practice.
啊，一般的
Spiritual
像布
cultivation,
施啦、慈悲啊，去帮助人啊，
the
这一
general
方面的事
things
情，
like charity,
属于资
compassion,
粮道，
helping
属于
others
资粮
are
道，那
considered
是
to
得
be
到
on the
你自
path
己
of
本
merit
身未
accumulation,
来的福报，
so that
你
you
做的会
gain
得
the
到
good
未来的福报。
fortunes and
你的
marriage
福
in the
分。
future.
真正在内法修行的时候啊，
But in the inner
你
tantric
因为
practices,
依持了你殊
it's
胜的你的
because
身体，
you rely
你的
on
身
your
体非常的
supreme
殊胜，
body, that your body
有
is
你身
extremely
体
supreme,
其中的脉，
and by
它本身
the
的
channels in your body,
会由脉而产生了法身，由脉
the
你
channels of
证
your
明了
body
法身，
can
由脉就可
generate
以证明
and
到法
confirm the Dharma body.
由脉知会证明到报
And
身，
your
由
channel
脉知
seeds
会证
can
明到报身。
confirm the reward
由
body or
戒甘露
Sambhogakaya.
明点
your ambrosia or light drops can confirm the Dharma body, or the channels are to confirm the emanation body or Nirmanakaya. So transformation body, emanation body, or physical body, like us now, we call it or call them Sambhogakaya. I mean Nirmanakaya. And the seeds or Sanskrit syllables are the strata of affinity of the Sambhogakaya, or reward body, light body. So I said it wrong earlier. There are several bodies. One is Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, Dharmakaya, and intrinsic body. And human beings are considered the Nirmanakaya. And the seeds are the Sambhogakaya, light drops, Dharmakaya, and the chi, or vital energy, are the start of affinity for the intrinsic body. This is rather profound. 4 bodies or 4 kaya. So Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, Dharmakaya, and intrinsic body. So the fruitions are divided into these 4 kayas or 4 bodies. And what is the occasion of the start of affinity? The verse said, by having the occasion of the start of affinities generates. By having is having the 3 doors, what the 3 doors of body, speech, and mind separately attracting. So by hearing, contemplating, training, empowerment, meditating, performing all the purification. So in our Buddhist studies, we go through the listening and contemplating. So after you listen to the Buddha Dharma, you think and contemplate. So in our studies, you need to rely on a guru and listening to him teaching Dharma. By hearing and then you're thinking, that's called hearing and thinking. And by relying on a guru, so this guru is the place of your study. Where do you go to study? To the True Buddha School Seattle Temple. That's your place of study. And then empowerment. What kind of empowerment have you received? So the empowerments are the stages of your spiritual cultivation. Empowerments are like permission. I give you permission to study the Dharma practices of the generation stages. I give you permission. Say, that's the second kind of permission. Give you permission to practice the completion Dharma practices. Or I give you permission for you to study the wisdom empowerment, which is the highest Yoga Tantra. And for the 4th one, I give you permission to practice the great completion Dharma practices, which is the closest to attainments of Buddhahood. And then meditation is entering into samadhi, and this is the most important. What is entering into samadhi? Is you are entering into the Buddha, and the Buddha enters into you. And the two becomes one, and one becomes zero, and you enter into the empty nature. That is meditation. One is meditation. There is no two. So in the theory of relativity, it's about dualism, about two. When there's good, there's bad. There's black and white. There's heaven and earth. There's man and woman. That's the theory of relativity. However, in terms of meditation, there's only one, absolute. When you study Buddhism, you have to enter into meditation. And meditation is all about one. And from one returns to zero. In Taoism, there is this statement. The three treasures of Taoism is the spirit, energy, and essence. So practicing the qi to enter into the spirit, practicing the spirit to enter into the essence, and practicing the essence to return to the Tao. Those are the stages in Taoism. And in meditation, you're in union with the Tao. That would be the true meditation. And what is the phenomena of being one with the Tao? Only meditators who have reached that realm can know, because it is beyond words, cannot be described by words. So this is what the pure yogi has. So in Tantrayana, the three doors of body, speech, and mind, we know that in tantric practices, we practice to purify our body, speech, and mind. Mind purification is for you to train in the pure visualization. And the speech purification is to teach you to chant mantra. When you chant mantra, your speech is pure. And the body purification is to teach you to form the mudra, to symbolize your body, the mudras. So by using the three doors of the body, speech, and mind, you practice. That's what the statement. And the occasion, any inferior meditation will rise to continuum and to merge into the four actions, to accumulate the five strata of affinity. This statement is very difficult to explain. Any master? So at any moment, if you are in full concentration, that's the continuum of the meditation. Please don't be disorderly. You always focus in all your life. Like Grandmaster, when I paint, I am in concentration. Because if I'm chaotic, then the stroke of my brush would be wrong. When I write, I'm also in full concentration. Each character, each punctuation, they're all orderly and you don't make mistake. Or if there is a mistake, you correct it right away. So when you write, you're in concentration, and then that would be Zen. So the continuum of the meditation doesn't mean that you sit in meditation. It means that even when you write, you're in meditation. When you paint, you're in meditation. When you walk, that's the walking meditation. When you sleep, that's the sleeping meditation. So that's what it calls the continuum of the meditation, which is in this state. Any inferior meditation rises to the continuum and merges into the 4 actions, accumulating the 5 start of affinity. The start of affinity rises to the all spiritual experiences of the yogi by relying on the channels, chi and body accumulation. So the 4 actions are the chi, channels, seeds, and ambrosia. And then the 5 start of affinity, which we mentioned earlier. So the start of affinity generates is because of the spiritual experiences of the yogi, relying on the channels, energy, and body. Like the spiritual experiences, last week, what spiritual experience that Grandmaster had was the vision of seeing the spirits coming, wanting red envelopes from me. And the spiritual experience of today's group practice is the Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva's pull, emitting bright radiance, and you felt that the bright radiance entered into your body. That's considered to be spiritual experiences. In the ancient time, a monk and a butcher were good friends. In the morning, the monk got up to chant sutra, and the butcher got up to kill the pigs. So they made a pact to wake each other up. And after many years, they both died, and the butcher went to heaven. The monk fell into hell. Why? Because the butcher did good work every day to wake up the monk to chant sutra. That's why the butcher went to heaven. And the monk every day wake the butcher up to kill. So that's why he went to hell. Because the butcher asked the monk to chant sutras. So the butcher had good merit. And the monk wake the butcher up to kill. So the monk
好像
actually
也同样有
violated
这
the
个想
precept.
法，好像是这样子，是
There's some similar joke like that.
那个啊，一个牧师啊，一个牧师当了很久的牧师，
A
结果他
priest,
下
a
到地狱，
priest
他
that's
有一个司机
been
啊，
a
去
priest
了
for a
上了
long
天堂。
time and went to hell.
什
And a
么延？
driver
这个
went to
笑话的
heaven.
意思是讲说，这个就是缘起啊，
And
因为那个牧师每一
this
次
is the
讲
start of
道的时候
affinity
啊，所有的人都
because
全部在打瞌睡，
when the priest
听他
gave
说
a
话，
sermon,
听他讲道的，
all the
大家
people
都
below fell
都
asleep.
睡着了，都睡着了。所以那个牧师没有什么功德，
So the priest did not have any merits,
那个
any
牧师
good
就下到
merits.
地狱去。
So finally
那
he
个司
went
机
to
为
hell.
什么会上天堂？
But the driver got to
因为那个
heaven.
司机啊，
Why? Because when he
开车的
drove,
时候乱开，
he drove really
公共
badly.
汽车啊，开
He
着巴
drove
士
a
的时候乱
bus,
开，但所有的乘客全部集中在
and
祷
the
告，
passengers were all praying
所有
inside
的
his
乘客
bus.
都吓得要死，全部在
They
祷
were
告，
so scared and they were all
因为
praying.
大家都在这祷告这个上帝耶和华，
And they
耶稣
called
基
on
督救我们，
God,
每个都很认真
Jehovah,
的在祷
Jesus
告，希
Christ.
望不要出事。
They
最后
were
司机因为
so
这个因缘就上了天堂。
seriously praying, and because of that, the
当然，这
driver
笑
went
话
to heaven.
是我现在是讲
Of
缘起，
course, that was a joke,
它的缘起就是这
but I am
这个道理。
talking about start of affinity, and it's the same concept.
哎，刚刚我讲了，有一个牧师跟一个公车司机同时过世，但是公车的司机上了天堂，
Oh,
牧
I
师却下了
I
地狱。
already
牧师一
told
生
this
奉
joke.
献一教会，却下地狱。
So the
结得
priest
相
and the
当的
driver
公平，
died together,
向
and
上
the
帝保佑。
priest went to hell, and the driver
牧
went
师
to
讲，
heaven.
主啊，
And
我
the
一生都
priest
奉献一教会，每个礼拜天都带着你
felt
的
it
信徒
unfair,
做
so
祷告。
complained to
为
God,
什么我却
Hey,
因
I
为
have
一个
dedicated
公
my
车
life
司机下了地狱？
as a priest,
上
and
帝
I
给他
always give sermon
对啊，
every week, but
就是因
why
为如此
I
你
went
才
to
下地
hell?
狱。你
And God
每
replied,
个
and the
礼拜天
driver
都带着信
instead
徒
went
做
to
祷
heaven.
告、讲经，让
Yeah,
他们都往
that's the
在地
reason,
下睡
because
觉。
although you give
但是
sermon
公车
every
司机
week,
每天
but
在街上
all the
横
people
冲
were
直撞，
falling
他的
asleep.
乘客却是
But
真
the
的在祷告。
driver was driving recklessly, but all of his passengers were seriously, wholeheartedly praying.
这就是缘起啊！
That is the start of affinity.
这世界上就有这种事情。一只狮子告一只斑马，
In life, this kind of things happen.
狮子对着斑马
The
跟法
lion
官讲：“斑马咬我。”
sued the zebra and told the judge that the zebra bit me.
法官问：“
And the
斑马
judge asked
为什么会咬你？”
zebra,
问狮子。
asked the
狮子
lion,
回答：“
why did zebra
我
bite
吃
you?
它的时候啊，它
And
反
the
抗，
lion
所以咬我。”
replied, because when I was
法
eating
官
it,
说：“
it
斑马伤害狮子的罪名成立。”
rebelled and bite me back. So, and the judge decided that the case wins. So the
这个也
world
是一个
is
缘起。
unfair like this. And this is also about the start of affinity. Why did the zebra
因
bite
为
the lion?
狮子要吃斑马，
Because the lion
所以它
wanted
就
to
反
bite
咬它一口
zebra.
啊。
So the zebra bit back.
那法官呢？
But the
我看
judge
也是恐龙法官。
must be a dinosaur judge.
那恐龙法官嘛，人家讲法官是恐龙，就是这个样子。
So nowadays there are so many injustices in this world. In our views, it's unfair. However, there is a start of affinity. You have to pay attention to that. Why you have to endure such injustice? There is a reason to it. When we talk about karma, cause and effect from the past lives, like you work really hard but you don't earn much money. Why somebody else doesn't do much but they have lots of money? That's sometimes there's no need to complain and be resentful. That's why our spiritual cultivation is extremely important. Every day our practice, our Dharma practice and our spiritual cultivations are very important. You don't need to desire something, but everything will come naturally. Actually, everything is fair. Why are you so ugly from birth? From birth until you're old, you're still ugly. Why some people are born very handsome, tall, and good looking? Grandmaster is not very tall. That's my biggest regret in this life. That's why I wear a higher heels. It's what is this called? But your wisdom is like a giant. So just comforting yourself. The person who made these shoes for me is a physical therapist who helped me make these shoes, and he's also my disciple. Grandmaster Lu, this is the greatest pain of Grandmaster Lu is that he is short. So he made these shoes for me. So these shoes were made by a physical therapist. It's about 10 centimeters. It's no big deal. But this is the biggest pain of my life. What's the reason? Why am I so short? Talking about the real reason is I was born when my mother was 7 months pregnant. So most babies were born at their 9th or 10th month, but 7th for me. And it was during the end of the World War II, 1945. There was no milk, no formulas, no milk powder. So being born prematurely, I only ate some rice gruel. So the rice ground it into powder. That's all I ate. There was no other food. So I did not have enough before birth and not enough after birth. So my cells were all short. So this is my pain from my life. So since birth, however, I also created karma in my past lives. What kind of karma? One life, I was a monk wanting to build a pagoda. Typically, there are 7 layers of a pagoda. And in Japan, there are 5 layers. In China, 9 or 7 layers pagoda. And for each pagoda, I took a little bit. Although there are 7 layers or 9 layers, I make it shorter, slightly shorter. So I corrupted a little bit. So I didn't build it as tall. Even by stealing a little bit, and in the next life, then you would be shorter. That's cause and effect, one after another. So if you stole or you corrupt, then you would be shorter. That's also start of affinity. So in talking about start of affinity, we have to talk about this. I don't like to drink, but I respect my friends. And my friends love to drink. And in order to respect my friends, I also love to drink. So that's the start of affinity. Therefore, when you were young, when you make friends, you want to be careful. Because friends enjoy. That's only friends having fun. But if you have a righteous friends, that they are your true friends. The wife is very angry and told the husband, "Why did you peek at my diary?" And the husband was speechless for a long time and then finally said, "How did you know?" And the wife was really angry and said, "Because I just read your diary and it was written that you looked at my diary yesterday." This is also start of affinity. Right? So, in Buddhism, we talk about start of affinity. And eventually, we say that the intrinsic nature of affinities are empty. That is the highest realm, that you have gained enlightenment, that everything is the start of affinities. And at the utmost, the start of affinity is also intrinsically empty. So Buddhism talks about this concept. Today we talk about Siddhikapa Bodhisattva, and he is a very diligent Bodhisattva. as long as you're very diligent, in painting and you paint one every day, then you can also produce 5,000 paintings. You're very diligent in writing, then you can write up to 277 books. If you're very diligent in your spiritual cultivation, every day, no matter what, you do your practice. You meditate, you enter into samadhi. You always have to perform that. You enter into yidam, the yidam enters into me, and you would feel the spiritual experiences, and if you do it every day, then you would have the attainment of the yidam, for sure. Definitely. So this kind of spirit of diligence is the start of affinity for your future attainments. For your attainments in the future. Om Mani Padme Hum.